You are now locked into the Red and Blue Rivalry podcast, the podcast where we talk all things San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys.
My name is Eric Hernandez, and I'm calling all the faithful.
And I am Philip Enriquez, repping for America's team, and we have made it all the way to the end, my friend. All the way to Week 17. This is the last week of the NFL season. And, I mean, who thought, man? I mean, who thought we'd be where we're at right now?
At this point, this was just like a dream when we went to that preseason game in Santa Clara.
It seems like yesterday we were at that preseason game in Santa Clara watching the Cowboys and the 49ers, play their second and third stringers.
Yeah, and it was just a bunch of hopes and dreams, and who knew, and you always want to take the positive view of what was going to happen, and, there's 1 week left, but a lot can still happen in that 1 week.
A lot can still happen, man. Bob Money's in here saying that the Cowboys disappointed. He wanted to play the Cowboys in the playoffs. I mean, I do too, man. They disappointed me, and I'm a damn Cowboys fan, man.
Yeah,
and you guys, you still have the number one seed
to play for
this week.
Yeah, going into Seattle against a hobbled Seattle Seahawks team. It's going to be something where you look forward to that game, because this is the biggest game that the 49ers have played since that NFC Championship up in Seattle.
Yeah.
This is the biggest game.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, it is, man. So before we get into the previews, let's get into the reviews. So San Francisco takes they move to 12-3. The LA Rams drop to 8-7. San Francisco wins by a score of 34-31. The 49ers eliminate the Rams from playoff contention. They converted 2 3rd and 16 first downs after not converting on their previous 50 of 3rd and 16.
Yeah, no, you don't do that. That's not a natural act.
It's not, and they're the number one seed. They could drop all the way down to the 5th seed and have to play wild card weekend on the road if they lose this game to Seattle.
Yeah, it's either, 1 or 5. And watching that game, I mean, you can't say if you're a Niners fan you weren't a little bit frustrated, because it just felt like we could never get to Jared Goff, which is frustrating. Not getting to Jared Goff is a very frustrating thing, because it's not like he's this, elusive. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Kyler Murray. But the Rams, this was the best games the Rams played, because the Rams knew they had to have this game. This was do
or die for them in the playoffs.
Exactly. So you look at what they were able to do. And what I think that the Niners kind of took lightly was Jared Goff's ability to throw on the move. Right. And the first half was a lot of rollouts, a lot of play action, a little bit of miscommunication with the Kello Witherspoon. I think the first touchdown where he was just right there on the rollout, and he was maybe a yard off. Gave up the touchdown. The offense looked stagnant. I think the offensive line did not live up to their hype. They had some issues, losing Weston Richburg and Mike Persons, who was out. It kind of hurt, especially going against Aaron Donald. So that game, it felt like, how do I say this? It felt like the Rams were able to keep the Niners at a distance for a while until, the end of the first half, where, I mean, damn, Niners are down, I think 17-21, and Jared Goff's going to Jared Goff, and he throws that out route, or that wheel route. And Fred Warner, who is the leader, like in the kind of just like the one who calls that defense. I mean, he reads the play, pick 6, and he takes it to the house, and that changed the game. That if not for that, I don't think the Niners win this.
No, I mean, you know what? It was a division rivalry, closer game than I ever imagined. The 49ers, dude, again, good teams find a way to win these kind of games, and they did, man. And all the props in the world, dude. Like, as a Cowboys fan, we've hit the end here for the regular season. It's Week 17. We're looking at the last week of the regular season, and like, I got to give it up, dude. Like, I'm not a hater, man. Like, I've questioned a lot of shit about the 49ers throughout the year, but like, here they are, with their whole world in front of them.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for at this point at Week 17. Like, nothing's guaranteed in the playoffs, dude. Nothing's guaranteed at all. But like, here you guys are in Week 17, still relevant, still fighting for the number one seed, dude. And I wish that's something that, as a Cowboys fan, I could say that we were fighting for.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. And it really is on the arm of Jimmy Garoppolo at the end. I mean, he is proving how clutch he can be. And clutch doesn't mean you're great from the start to the end. Clutch means that when they need you, you come through for them.
Right.
And I mean, it was horrible. That I remember being so angry that last drive where he takes a sack, they get stuffed, and in my mind I'm thinking there's I think a little under 2 minutes. It's 3rd and 16. My mind is thinking we're gonna punt the ball to the Rams. They're gonna go down and kick a game-winning field goal. And I'm just so angry. And then that first 3rd down conversion was even more impressive than the bomb because they covered that play.
Yeah.
You know? And Jimmy had pressure in his face, stepped up, 14-yard strike to Kendrick Bourne, falls forward for 2 yards. Because to me, that play signified he can get it done. Even more than the second one, because the second one is busted coverage.
Right.
He's open. If you're any type of quarterback in that route, they're going to make the throw. So for him to convert once, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. But then he gets sacked again, and it's so frustrating because
behind the chain.
Because Garoppolo has had a tendency to hold on to the ball. I think, and he's nervous. I notice he doesn't move a lot when he's about to get hit because I think the fumbling has scared him.
Yeah.
He's a little more thoughtful about that. So, sack again, 3rd and 16. Now I'm a little less worried because I'm like, okay, even if we complete a pass, we probably punt it to them, but they probably could win it in overtime. I don't have a fear of them winning during the game. And again, pressure in his face, busted coverage. Just doing it to Jalen Ramsey felt so good because Jalen
Ramsey is such a shit talker.
He's just yapping, pointing at the score when we were down, I think 14-3, and just running his mouth. And you just see him trail Emmanuel Sanders, bang, bomb, game. You know?
Right.
So I think and they made a point. During the season, who's more battle tested as a quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo? You have the guys that have played in the postseason last year, but this year, he has had to come back against the Steelers, come back against the Saints.
I mean, he's done what you can ask him for thus far.
I think he's getting that knowledge of this is how it feels. I mean, yes, they're not playoff games, but that game against the Saints, when you have to go down.
He's played in big games.
Yeah, and he's delivered. I mean,
he ran through the gauntlet, dude.
And he went through the one knock on him was the Seattle game, and now he has a chance to go and correct that error.
Well, here's what I mean, dude. Like game 17 is in front of you, man. I mean, week 17, game 16.
Yeah.
Is right in front of you, dude.
Yeah.
And an old friend is waiting. You know, it's Russell Wilson and that Seattle Seahawks defense, which isn't what it used to be, and it's ailing. And you're catching them at the right time. If you're going to beat them, there's not a better time than week 17 in 2019. I mean, this is it, dude. This is what... To you, this is the game that was my game this last week.
Yeah.
And we failed.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that you don't want to limp into the playoffs, dude.
No.
You don't want to go to Philly or Dallas. You don't, dude.
Yeah, and you don't and you want to go in there and you look at the game that they played against the Seahawks. I think that the Niners are a healthier and better team now than they were then. And I don't think Seattle's is as good. You look at going into that Seahawks game without George Kittle. Oh, I think one drive with Emmanuel Sanders, and in that drive they got a touchdown before he went out.
Right.
You know, you're looking at, then you look at Seattle losing both Carson and CJ Prosise. Those are their two backs.
Yeah, now they're going to sign Lynch.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch.
I mean, look, dude, Marshawn Lynch is probably a better back than these guys. I would feel more confident depending on Marshawn Lynch, but just down in and down out, I don't think he's there.
No. And I'm looking at the chat right now. We got Bob Money talking about he was disappointed in the Saturday game. And I agree. I mean, you go in there.
It shouldn't have been that close,
but
dude.
But the thing I'll say to that, I get that because you saw what the Cowboys did to them. But you got to remember, this is the same team that beat Seattle.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's all about matchups.
Too. And sometimes, like, McVay's seen Shanahan how many times?
Right. Yeah.
You've seen him like 4 or 5 times already. So he was going to have... I did not expect that game to be a blowout. Did I think it was going to be that close? No. Did it concern me about the defense? Yes. But
because
I knew that was
looks like it's hurt.
Yeah. It's hurting at every level.
Yeah.
You don't have D Ford. You don't have Quan Alexander. And you don't have Jaquiski Tartt, who is the kind of the Lynch, the enforcer of that secondary. Tartt's the one that takes the tight ends on the routes. Tartt's the one that lays the wood.
Right.
You see how bad they are when you have Marcel Harris in there, and he's lost. He just isn't the kind of player Jaquiski Tartt is. So you kind of are seeing that. You knew you were going to get. This was their best punch. This was the best game you were going to ever see from the Rams because this was everything they had. They had nothing left to lose. So I get why we came out flat against them. And I look at it like they wanted to get past this game. Everything was get past this game, get healthy, get safe, get through to the Seattle game. Get through to week 17. And they have this shot now. And it's like I said, it's the biggest game since the NFC Championship up in Seattle when they lost.
This is by far the biggest game since the last game that you guys played.
Yeah.
And this one means so much more now.
Yeah.
Because this is the end, dude. This is the end, my friend. This is the number 1 seed, home field advantage to the NFC. I mean, how much better will it be for the Niners not to have to go to New Orleans?
Yes.
New Orleans is damn near unbeatable at New Orleans.
It took everything to beat them.
It took the referees to beat them.
I mean...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even last season. So you don't want to go to New Orleans. And also, the 49ers, man, they haven't had a bye since, week 4?
Yep.
They haven't had any kind of rest since week 4. They need a bye week like nobody's business. So the 49ers are fighting for everything. And you know what, dude? Hats off to the 49ers. They played their ass off. I think their defense is fucking awesome, game in and game out. I think their offense is definitely above average, and that's why they're 12 and they're ready to be, 12-4 at least,
Yeah,
maybe,
it could be,
Yeah, they're right there.
They have 12 wins.
12-win team, a solid 12-win team right now as we speak. But the bottom line is this, dude. They're still playing for something. They're doing it. I give them all the props in the world, dude. It is a totally different kind of story on my side of the world. Philadelphia beats the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 17-9. The Cowboys fall under 500 now, dude. 7-8. A team this talented, 7-8, could have clinched the second straight NFC East title, but can't do it. And what's worse, dude, is Eagle fans, they just love eliminating us. They just love us they love our misery. And we gave it to them on a silver platter. Here's my misery, man, because you ruined my momentum into the playoffs. Let's just say the Eagles lose to the Giants and the Cowboys beat the Redskins. We're NFC East champs, but it sure doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
You took the momentum from us. The Eagles, fuck the records like I've been saying, dude. It's all about making the playoffs and hosting that playoff game. But now we got no momentum, Yeah. The Eagles took that from us, man. Zeke being held under 50 yards. Again, how many times? How many times this year down the stretch has he had games where he's barely rushing for like 47 yards?
But what gets me about that, maybe you can help me understand, because I watched that game, and I watched it with an Eagle fan and a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Is I watched that game with Zeke, and he's ripping 10-yard gains, 12-yard gains, 10-yard gains, 8-yard gains, and then he just goes quiet. Talk about the... he patted his helmet and said, I want it out. What is going on with him? Because it feels like the team wants to run the ball through him, but he just can't handle the workload for that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, and I think that's on coaching. And if there's one plus from this whole debacle, it's that Jason Garrett and his coaching staff isn't coming back next year. That gives me hope right there. But it's not on just the coaches. Like, as much as I'd love to say, the problem's Garrett and Garrett only, it's not. Look at Zeke, dude. What's he calling out for after first down? It's 3rd and 1. Why is Zeke not on the field? How much money? $50 million guaranteed, basically.
Yeah.
$100 million contract, basically. And you're not out there on 3rd and 1?
Yeah.
We got to hand the ball off to some rookie, and we're running east and west instead of north and south with the best running back that we thought.
One of the best lines.
With one of the best lines. He converted on 2 3rd and 1s prior to that.
That's almost a given for him.
That's a given for him, and he's not on the field. Look, that's on Zeke for even calling out, but guess what? It's on Garrett. It's on Kellen Moore for calling those plays and having that personnel on the field. Look at the end of the game in the 4th quarter. Amari Cooper wasn't even on the field. Randall Cobb wasn't even on the field.
Yeah, I saw them both off the field.
They're both off the field. Jason Witten's still on the field. Dude, Jason Witten, I'm sorry, dude. He's old, man. He's good for a play or two, and that's it. Why is he in there 90, 85% of the snaps?
Yeah, he needs to go.
He needs to go, dude. Blake Jarwin's more athletic. Blake Jarwin can make plays upfield. I'm just tired of it, and it's on the players and the coaches. Like, as much as I'd love to just chop Garrett's head off and say problem solved, it's not. The problem is in some of those players' hearts, dude.
Yeah, because they're not challenged anymore.
They're not.
They're not. And when I look at this team, I go, yeah, I see the talent. There's a reason to be afraid. But it's like I said before, and it's the truth of the Dallas Cowboys is the minute you punch them in the mouth, the minute you go up 10-0, 7-0, they just have no answer. And the more you make Dak throw the ball, the less effective Dak becomes. I don't know how much of it is the shoulder injury, how much of it is just he's not an accurate quarterback. That's asking a lot. That is asking a lot to be accurate for 44 something passes.
Right, he threw for 44 passes this game.
Yeah, see, you're asking him to be accurate in a lot of, and I don't think that's his game. I think his game is he can be accurate 20, 25. Maybe throw it a little more, but you want him on the run. You want to be able to rely on your backs to just drive that offense. And when you look at their game plan, and you can tell because you look at one half of the analysts who say, oh, they need to go back to running the ball. Yes. They need to give Zeke the ball. And you have the other half of the analysts.
Feed me my ammo. I know where you're going with this. And the other half, tell me what you hear on ESPN. Yeah. Tell me what you hear on Fox Sports 1. What do you hear? What's the argument for the Cowboys?
It's they're damned if they do, because either they're supposed to run the ball or you got to give it to Zeke 45 times and that's not working, or you need to take advantage of the secondary of the Eagles and throw the ball. You need, Dak has to let it rip because you have to take advantage, and that didn't work. So what went wrong? What's wrong with them in that?
Here's something you're not going to hear on FS1. Here's something you're not going to hear on ESPN. Here's something that you're only going to hear here on the Say What You Like Sports podcast, on the Red and Blue Rivalry podcast. As a real Cowboys fan that watches every single down of this team, that's just completely locked into this team, without a doubt, guess what? I got a bombshell to drop in Week 17. This team does not run through Zeke. This team does not run through Dak. The most valuable player to the Dallas Cowboys offense, without a doubt, is Amari Cooper.
Really?
Amari Cooper. And you don't hear that on FS1.
No.
You hear Skip Bayless saying, it's all Dak.
Yeah.
And you hear Shannon Sharp say, it's all Zeke.
Yeah.
Right? It ain't either of the two. They're great. They're major pieces. They're number 2 and number 3 in whatever order you have them. But number 1 is Amari Cooper. When Amari Cooper plays well, this Cowboys offense is unbeatable. It is unquestionably the best offense in the league in 2019. Amari Cooper has been dealing with a nagging knee injury, and I don't know how serious it is, but I can only imagine it's serious because he's not getting the separation he had just 3 to 4 weeks ago. And the bottom line is this. We had Dak, and we had Zeke, and we had Garrett as coach. And we were 3-5 halfway through the season in 2018.
Yeah.
Once we made the trade for Amari, we took 1 L and looked like one of the most explosive offenses in the league. When we were winning in 2019, it's because Amari Cooper looked like one of the top receivers in the league. Down the stretch, he has not looked like that. And you see what our offense does. Putting up 6 points, no touchdowns against the Philadelphia Eagles. Amari Cooper is the key.
Yeah.
When he plays well, this Cowboys offense is dangerous. When he doesn't, you just saw what we look like against the Eagles.
Yeah, and I mean, you hit the nail on the head because you could see the separation early on in the season with Amari Cooper, and now he just looks like he struggles to get open. And when he does get open, it doesn't help that Dak, will overthrow him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dak had a bad game.
So I think that you look at this, and I just think it comes to coaching. Like, how did you not have your game plan ready? How did you not know and say, this is what we're going to do? Everybody in the NFL scripts plays. It came from the late, great Bill Walsh. You script your first 15, your first 20. And for a team that has so much talent, how do you not scripting them to be able to go down the field not just once, but twice? How do you not get down the field with that offensive line? How easy it would be to bite on play action. You still have Cooper and Gallup and Cobb, and yet they just feel so like they always seem to do the wrong thing at the wrong time.
That's the Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
That's the Cowboys. Think about it, dude. When the Cowboys offense is rolling, the defense is playing like crap.
Yeah.
When the defense is playing great like they did against New Orleans, the offense can't score a touchdown.
No complimentary football.
There's no complimentary football on the Cowboys. The Cowboys have flashed, And they've looked great at times. The Cowboys' defense has even looked great at times. The Cowboys' offense has looked great at times. The only thing that I can't make an excuse for is the special teams. They've looked bad consistently throughout the year. Offense and defense has looked good, but there's no complementary football. You called it, dude. Yeah. The reason the Cowboys are 8-8 isn't because they're not good. Isn't because they're not talented. It's because there's no complementary football and they're poorly coached.
Yeah.
There's no heart. There's no heart in this team. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys, man, I'm just going to tell you, dude, they're the most disappointing Cowboys team in the last 20 years for me. Even the Dave Campbell years, because I didn't expect much.
Yeah.
I expected a lot, and they let me down. Like I said earlier, they didn't let me down hard. Honestly, this team let me down gently.
Yeah.
Because they showed me early that they're inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I knew it already. It's sad, dude. It's really sad because I really wish we were playing in the play. I wish I was like, dude, I wish I could tell you, I could tempt you with like, hey, man, you want to go to a playoff game in Dallas against the 49ers?
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, it looks like a good,
that'd be fun.
It'd be fun, but it's like, it's just not meant to be, dude. My Cowboys, took a dump, dude, in the bed, and at least your Niners are still fighting, man.
So let's look forward a little bit to the Redskins. And I think I'm going to put these two games together because you can't talk about Cowboys Redskins without talking about Eagles Giants.
Yeah.
So how do you see these games? I mean, in your heart of hearts, do you see the Giants beat? Because the Giants need to beat the Eagles for the Cowboys to have a chance.
I can see the Giants beating the Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't think the Eagles are better than an 8-8 team, just like I don't think the Cowboys are better than an 8-8 team.
Yeah.
I think these teams are both lost. I think just the Eagles had a better day.
Yeah.
And that's that. And hey, hats off to them for beating the Cowboys. I'm not like taking it away from them, but I don't think they're great. Just like if the Cowboys would have won, I wouldn't think they're Super Bowl bound.
Yeah.
And I think the Giants, you know what? Danny Dimes, man, he might do something. And if he doesn't, hey, Eli might see some field,
Yeah, Saquon Barkley playing
You got
good.
Saquon Barkley. You got weapons, man. I think that it's very possible that somehow the Cowboys back into the playoffs. That doesn't mean I'm proud of it. That doesn't mean I even want it. It's just I can see it happening.
Yeah.
Because Washington's a bad team. Haskins went down with an injury last week.
Yeah.
So they're done. I mean, dude, whatever you want to say about the Cowboys and the Eagles, the Redskins are a dumpster fire.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Cowboys are going to be pissed because they know they're a better team than what they showed, scoring 6 points against the Eagles defense with injured guys, injured defensive backs. Like Darby wasn't even playing. No. He was in and out of that game. Mills was in and out of that game with an ankle injury, and you couldn't capitalize.
Which is crazy because my question is then, how do you do both? How do you run the ball, establish Zeke, and still take advantage of that? That was my question because it felt like, and this is the issue, is you're right about the Eagles, but I thought this game was going to help kind of propel the team that won it. If Dallas had won it, I feel like, okay, Dallas has the ability to go on a roll. And I feel the same for the Eagles now because, Carson Wentz proved
he looked good.
I can make plays. I'm down my receivers. Those aren't his best weapons, but those are still his receivers. And Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson and Nelson Aguilar. And it kind of looked like they squared a lot of things away. If you're the Eagles, you want to jump on the Giants quick. You want to make sure you're up 17. You want to be able to get up quick and just kind of coast. Because you don't want a team like the Giants still stay in it. For the Cowboys, I mean, win the game, go 8-8, and go from there. And, it would be such a fitting end for the Jason Garrett era to finish 8-8.
That's what he deserves to be. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He's shown us he's 8-8. I guarantee you we're going to finish 8-8.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wouldn't doubt if the Eagles finish 8-8 too. That's why I say the Cowboys have a chance. But you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Even if we limp into the playoffs at 8-8, I'm not excited. I don't have any high hopes for this team. They've disappointed me too much, man.
Did you realize?
I'm defeated, dude. Yeah. You can tell in my voice. I'm defeated.
Yeah, I feel it.
It sucks.
You know they were favored to win 14 of the 15.
Yes. The only game they were not favored in was against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Every game.
Well, you're favored. And
not that they should be 15-1, but you know what? This Cowboys team should legitimately win 10 games.
Yeah.
There's no way this team should not have won 10 games. Even with bad coaching, even with the lack of heart, even with injuries, the Cowboys team should be worth 10 games minimum.
Yeah.
12 games if they fucking meet their potential.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They're at 8-8. They're not even at 8-8. They're at 7 wins right now. That's sad.
That is.
Underachieving, dude. And Garrett's got to go, dude. It's time for the Urban Meyer.
Is that what you're looking forward to?
Yeah. Give me Urban Meyer over Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Lincoln Riley. Like it might be exciting, but it's not what the Cowboys need. The Cowboys need a culture change.
Yeah.
And Urban Meyer is more of a culture change to me.
Yeah, you need someone that's going to finally hold these players accountable. That tells you just because you got paid doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, dude? Chris Jensen in the chat brings up a good point. Do you really want to make the playoffs? Because if we do you want to give Jerry Jones any reason to keep Garrett? No, I don't. I'd rather miss the playoffs right now. After not beating if you told me would I rather be in the playoffs after beating the Eagles? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But not now. No. I don't. It's dead. I'm dead. It's dead.
It would be
barring a Super Bowl appearance. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm not counting. I'm not holding my breath, dude, for anybody.
No. That would be. I can't imagine Jerry Jones has to know this is it.
It's it. It's it. Oh, it's it, dude. You know it's it. I know it's it. Jerry knows it's it.
Yeah.
It's it, dude. It's it. I mean, how many beers am I in? And it's it.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's been.
It's sorrow, dude. I'm drowning my sorrows in beer.
Yeah.
Because I'm done watching my Cowboys, man. It's sad. I'm really the 2019 Cowboys, dude. I'm not lying. Have disappointed me more than any other team in the last 20 years. Easy. Easy.
Yeah, because you look at them like the potential they had, weapons. You saw Gallup make, and that's the thing is that they tease you because you saw Gallup. They do.
Because at times, dude, you're like, this team's fucking badass. Dude, I know we had a little like back and forth when I was like, Cowboys could beat the Niners. If the Cowboys are playing their game, fuck yeah, they can. But like I told you, it's a 20% chance the Cowboys play their game. Yeah. 80% chance they don't show up. That's the Cowboys.
That's the thing is that the talent has, like I said, it's 12-4 talent and 6-10 head coaching. And you know what you get? You get 8-8.
That's it. And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are, man. Look, let's talk a little bit about San Francisco 49ers because they do got a big game that still matters. San Francisco is going up to Seattle. They're 2.5-point road favorites, as you pointed out to me. I thought Seattle would be favored, but no, apparently
I think the injuries you have to
catching up to them now. Yeah, I mean, you got to feel good about your chances.
Still Russell. I do.
But Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson, and I mean, what is the key? What is the key for the Niners to pull this off? Because we're talking about the number one seed here, man. How are the 49ers going to be the number one seed?
George Kittle. It has to go through George Kittle. I think the difference in this game will be George Kittle. We didn't have George Kittle
the first time.
Yeah, when they went there and played them. And I think that, like I said, the Niners are a better team now, even though they've had injuries on the defensive side. But offensively, I feel a little bit better about Garoppolo. You're looking at Emmanuel Sanders healthy. Debo's taking a step forward. So you're looking at those three. Kendrick Bourne, who's just, he's the red zone weapon. And what you look at with the Niners is they're not going to have to deal with anybody interior like Aaron Donald. So they should still be able to run the ball.
Right.
I think if you're the Niners, Kyle Shanahan has to go into his bag of tricks like he did against the Saints. A lot of motion, a lot of things to slow those linebackers down. If you can slow the Seattle Seahawks linebackers down with motion, jet sweeps, go sweeps, orbit, motion, you slow those linebackers down, you're going to create holes. They need to,
you have to slow those linebackers. They're the key. They're the heart of that defense.
You have to slow them down. You have to give the ball to Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert is the, lightning bolt of that offense.
Right.
Whereas, Kittle's the thunder, he's the lightning.
Right.
You have to run these things. You have to be able to get lanes for him on offense. Be able to convert. Don't take negative plays. That game against them the first time, Jimmy, he had a fumble that would turn into a...
You can't do that.
He had a fumble that turned into points.
Do that.
He fumbled directly to somebody turning into points. Then he fumbled again. They got on a short field. That's another in 7 points. That's 14 points. Then an interception. They had 21 points off turnovers.
You can't do that.
They beat us, I think, 27-24.
Right.
You have to be mindful of that. Jadeveon Clowney's going to play. I don't know how healthy he's going to be, but he'll be there. No, I forget the defensive tackle they have, but he's not going to be there. And you want to be able to convert, you got to get Kittle the ball. But the thing with Kittle, and I saw this with the Rams, is he can't be, and I hope this makes sense, he can't be the first option because they know he's the first option.
Right.
You have to make him the second or third. When he's the second or third option is when he's going to convert.
Right.
When they went down and scored against the Rams, he got the ball once. When they went and scored down the Rams against, he got the ball once or twice. But it was always going to other people. They have to make sure that they force Seattle to respect every player and every level of that field.
Right.
Because if you just throw it to Kittle, it's going to end up like Atlanta where they just key on him and he's on the ground quick.
Right. You can take a tight end out of the game if you need to.
You know, and then on defense, it's going to be interesting because I don't know what Seahawk team is going to show up. This team likes to run the ball, and they're out their two best runners. You know, as much as it's great to have Marshawn Lynch, and they're going to hoop and holler, and the 12s are going to get all loud and rowdy, it's going to last only so much.
Right.
I think they added Marshawn Lynch for the playoffs.
Right.
They're going to give him this game
to get right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is they have to make sure that they have somebody on Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf at all times. And just anytime Russell Wilson gets out, you need to have somebody on him. They're not going to have Ronald Blair, who made that big play against them last year.
That's the thing. Is your defense healthy enough to take on Russell Wilson at his best right now? Are you confident?
I think yes, because of the injuries. They're without their left tackle, so that means like Nick Bosa's going to eat.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's going to be no D Ford. It doesn't sound like there's going to be Jaquaski Tartt, but I'm not.
Is he going to be back for the playoffs?
D Ford, yeah, he should. Yeah? If they get a number 1 seed, he should be back.
Okay.
Yeah, he, you know, and what's killer about losing D Ford was something I thought about during the season when they signed him, but it didn't bother me because I felt like, okay, Ronald Blair was his backup, and Ronald Blair was a starter the year before, and you know he made plays, and you could tell he was a guy that if you put him in patches would work. Him and DeMontre Moore, but when those two are gone, like they lost the depth before they lost the starter.
Right. Yeah. For
so
sure.
that hurt.
For 49ers, yeah, big time.
So they have no one on the other side. And as great as Nick Bosa is, he's only one guy. So they're chipping him. DeForest Buckner's not having the greatest of game. He's kind of having a quiet game. You look at Eric Armstead's the one that's kind of having the big game, feeding off of this. But, you know, and he's had a history of giving Russell Wilson trouble. And that's what you kind of hope he does again. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be tough. Russell Wilson's not going to go out without a fight. What you hope is that you can really disrupt his offense to the point where you can mount a pretty big lead. The goal, the ultimate best part is if you can mount a pretty big lead to the point where they quit. Where they pull Russell Wilson and they say,
you know what, dude? Here's the bottom line. As a non-49er fan, being honest, I think the 49ers have the edge here. I really do, even with Seattle being at home, because Seattle's proven they're not unbeatable at home anymore.
That's the Cardinals.
They just lost to the Cardinals. You know, they bleed. You know, God bleeds. And I think the 49ers defense has had a better year. I think the 49ers offense has shown that it can make the plays when called upon. My thing is this, dude. Don't let the Seattle Seahawks feel like they can win the game late in the game.
Yeah.
Because they might. They will pull that sheet over the 49ers if the 49ers let them believe.
Yeah.
You know, Russell Wilson's the type, hey, you're up 4 in the fourth quarter. I like Russell Wilson's chances.
Yeah. If
you're up 10 or 7 even, I like the 49ers chances.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's the way I see this. If this is a one-score game or less, give me the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
If you guys can keep it to a score or more, even 10 points.
Yeah.
Give me the 49ers because I think that defense can make a play somewhere in there. When they're driving, just like last game. I mean, he threw a pick in the end zone.
Yeah.
I can see that happening again, even with the injuries on defense. I could still see their starters making a big play, sacking them, putting them behind the chains, making it damn near impossible to come back.
Yeah.
But you cannot make it a game.
No. You can't. That's going to be what's scary, especially you're there. They know what the stakes are. And, you know, this is where Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh really have to show, like, their next level coaches and be able to adapt because the stink about the last game was, and I get it now, I didn't get it in hindsight, but not playing for the tie. And if they would have played for the tie, which they had the ability to, if they would have ran that ball the second time the last time they had it at the end of the overtime, you run the ball a couple times, you give Seattle, I think 12 seconds. They wouldn't have had enough time to drive down the field, basically, was the point.
Right.
They would have been too little, even for them. They would have ended as a tie. If they would have done that, they would already have the division sewn up. because they would have because think about it like this.
Yeah.
They're 12 and 2. No, I'm sorry, they're 12 and 3.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't have that means you would have took a loss off of them. They would be 12, 2 and 1.
Yeah.
And Seattle would be 10, 4 and 1. And that's the game
like that.
Yeah. And it's the game. But those are things you're going to learn as a coach. Like, I didn't think of that until that was pointed out to me, and you look at the hindsight. But it came down to a kick last time, and we didn't have our kicker. I don't think it's going to be as close as it was then. I just think that the Niners are a better team. I think this is what they've been waiting for. And like you said, this is the game. Like you said with the Cowboys last week, this is the game you want to see. Everything else is great, but are you a 5 seed or are you a 1 seed? This is can you deliver a blow to the bullies of that division? Because the Rams had their name on it for, I don't know, a coffee break, but this has been Seattle's division since that NFC Championship game against the Niners.
Yeah. It's all, dude. This, if you wanna take the crown off this is the guy that you pulled the crown off of, dude. It's Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You guys have it all. I think the 49ers can pull this game off, though, dude. I think the 49ers will probably end up winning this game. As long as they don't make big mistakes early on.
Yeah, Garoppolo has to be smart with the ball.
Especially early on.
Yes.
Especially early on. And then my Cowboys, man, they're back home. 6.5-point favorites against Washington. I don't really have much to say. I think they'll beat Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's saying much. I don't know.
You don't believe in the Case Keenum?
I don't believe in anything. I think Washington's a dumpster fire, and I think the Cowboys are an average team, man. So they're I can see them winning. I can even see them taking the division. But look, here's the thing, Dallas, man. I think this is just a game that, hey, you know what, Garrett, he's an 8-8 coach.
No.
He's at 7 and he's at 7 wins right now.
Yeah.
7 and 8. I don't see him being 7 and 9. I see him as 8 and 8. Even Come on, do you see him as finishing 7 and 9?
They'll win this one.
He's 8 and 8.
Yeah.
That's just so they're gonna win, and if the Eagles lose and they should falter, then the Cowboys will be in the playoffs. Man, I mean, look, Haskins is out. Nothing's looking good for the Redskins. The Cowboys don't look good. But again, when they're angry, and they play, and when there's nothing to play for and the pressure's off of them, they play well. They show up to their talent. I think the running game will get going. I don't think that the run defense for Washington can stop Zeke. I think they're going to really want to run the ball. I really think Dak's going to be able to really just make the plays he needs to play and not have to throw 44 times. I just see it. I just see that we handle Washington. Bottom line is, dude, even if we get in the playoffs, dude, I won't be excited, man.
No.
That's what's sad.
That does suck. Yeah.
It's just like it is what it is right now, man. I mean,
I remember us talking about being able to meet in the playoffs. It just doesn't feel like it's not.
Even if you guys lose to Seattle, I'm not gonna feel like we have a great shot. Like,
no.
I mean, it's a fucking 15% chance that we show up. So
you want to see, like, and this is true. If you're of the old school variety, you want to see 3 teams do good, especially in the NFC. Well, particularly in the AFC, I should say. That's the San Francisco 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Green Bay Packers. Because when we grew up, those were the 3 teams battling for Super Bowls.
Right.
Those are the teams
it's
that
nostalgia.
Yeah. It's Young, Aikman, and Favre. You know?
That's I grew up on those 3.
And it literally was. I mean, you had Aikman winners, then Young, then Aikman, then Favre. Those are the teams. So, you kind of want to see Dallas. I would like to see Dallas be more competitive. Those have more meaning to us. It doesn't mean anything to me to be the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, that's a rival, but that's not historic to me. Like, the New Orleans Saints have been great for a decade, and that's all well and good, but you want to say you win and beat the Dallas Cowboys, you win and beat the Green Bay Packers.
It means a little more.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
Knocking out the Dallas, I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, knocking out the Niners, knocking out the Packers, it has more value to it.
It does.
It does.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, look, dude, it's week 17, and the Cowboys aren't completely out of it. Like I said, I don't have the excitement, dude. It's gone. The Cowboys basically just, their ineptitude has just, LVE's having neck surgery. He's calling it in.
Yeah.
He's calling it in. Garrett's calling it in. Jones is calling it in. Zeke called it in the first down. It's just.
Oh yeah, literally call. Yeah.
It is what it is, and whatever. But we'll see. I hope that the red and blue rivalry will be able to talk it during playoffs next week. But I mean, little chance, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be news one way or another. I think we'll get one more week out of this.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, dude. Either way, I'm coming back with my thoughts on the Cowboys season.
Yeah.
Either way, I will. I promise, dude. It's been a busy week for me, man, with Christmas and all that shit.
That's why we're doing it on a Monday.
That's why we're doing this podcast on a Monday and not on a Wednesday. I did my. Come on, before you got here, I'm getting a scooter and I'm getting presents and all this stuff. But here's the thing: I will break down what happened to the Cowboys, and yes, we'll get in a little deeper to why I believe Amari Cooper was the key and his injury, and why at the end. With his injury, he nobody was going to save Garrett's job.
No.
That's it. Nobody was. And we'll see. I think Urban Meyer will probably be the coach, dude, in a few weeks, man.
If Jerry's willing to kind of concede to whatever he wants.
He's got to now.
Yeah.
He had 9 years with Garrett.
Yeah.
He's got to now.
Yeah.
He can't afford to look stupid.
No.
Even for Jerry. He can't. Not with this team. Because Jerry's put too much money into Zeke. And DeMarcus Lawrence.
He's about to put more in Amari Cooper into Prescott.
Exactly. So you need a guy that's going to change a little bit of culture.
Get the most out of him.
Show this team accountability. Yeah, and hopefully it works out, man. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm excited. We'll cover the playoffs. We'll cover every playoff game on the Say What You Like Sports podcast. And we will cover 49ers and Cowboys, even into the playoffs, even if one of them
there will be
doesn't
news.
make it.
No matter
There'll be
what.
news, exactly. Coaching changes, dude. I'll be talking about Urban Meyer. I'll be talking about Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
I'll be talking about Bye Garrett.
Yeah.
I'll probably be excited. Look, my mood picked up when you told me Garrett will be gone and we could talk about that. Fuck yeah, we can talk about it. I'm ready because I'm done talking about this team on the field. Man.
We could have the kind of just a look back at the decade of him.
Yes, right. Yeah, I'll talk about the decade of Garrett, man. And just how he wasted Tony Romo's career, and he's ready to waste Dax if we don't get him out of here.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. So, look, man, it's been a fun ride. This is the end of the regular season for us, man.
Yeah.
We did it all the way through, man. Red and blue rivalry.
Yep.
Both in it. I mean, technically, we're not eliminated.
No.
So,
we got one more week.
In it.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. We don't control our own destiny, but, hey, we're still in it. And, we'll see where we land, man. But, until then, man, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year's.
Same to you.
Maybe my team will Santa will bring him a playoff berth.
That's what you need. Yep.
That's what I need. Maybe Santa will bring you the number 1 seed.
That's what I want. Yep.
That's what you want, man. I'm just tired, man, of defending the Cowboys throughout the year, as you can tell.
Well, change can be good. I mean, we used to talk about when we used to talk about Garrett and I get your point at times of who you're going to replace him with. It's time to find out.
Right.
It really is time to find out.
Like I told you, man, Garrett is like that girlfriend that, she's not a bad girl, and I'm not even a bad guy, but we're just not going to win the Super Bowl together. It ain't going to happen. So it's time to find someone that maybe I can.
Yep.
Whether better or for worse,
you need to start looking.
It's time to start looking elsewhere. That's the Cowboys. That's Garrett, man, and that's it, man. That's what I got for the Red and Blue rivalry. Week 17. We will see you guys later for the playoffs. Peace out.
Eat.